and this is episode 5 of Baylee's podcast. Now, I am recording this intro after the fact because, and Troy is not here right now, but when we were recording episode 5, which you will hear, the first 30 to 40 seconds was not recorded. So I'm recording this intro now. I'm going to tack it on and give you and fill you guys in because that first 30 to 40 seconds, Troy was talking about, and when it starts, you'll hear him wrap up his sentence on his take on child support, and then we both go into discussing not only child support but also abortion. So, yeah, that part was not recorded. It starts right when he wraps up what he was talking about, pretty much saying, because he has more experience in child support than I do in paying it, and he was talking about his personal experience. So, yeah.
Giving a shit about nothing. It's just a bad thing. And I think there should be at least some kind of counseling or something set up for it, you know?
Yeah.
What is your take on it, though? I'm curious to hear this.
Well, here's my take. Now I can't. Well, one thing I do want to mention is there's plenty of words for hypocrisy. So there's hypocrisy. There is double standards. That's a type of hypocrisy or kind of hypocrisy. And then there's there's a logical fallacy called moving the goalpost. I think that's also kind of hypocritical if you move the goalposts. But think about it like this. Now, I don't want to say that because the way the political economy is working right now, women do not have the choice to get an abortion, I guess, because Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Right.
But we all know the hot topic about abortion. Now, me personally, I'm on the fence a little bit. I was raised in a very conservative household where abortion was considered diabolical in the eyes of God. But I can definitely see both sides. And I was watching a debate like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. The conservative, the guy, I think it was Charlie Kirk.
Right.
He said he made the argument that abortion is murder, and what he did was he defined murder. He defined murder as taking a life with the intent to end it. Now, if you go by that definition, I would definitely agree that abortion is murder, but I cannot be against it for that reason, just because it's murder, so therefore I'm against it. But think about it like this: I eat chicken. You probably eat chicken. You probably eat hamburgers. I love hamburgers, but I don't eat. I mostly eat chicken.
Right.
But it doesn't matter what you eat, unless you're eating vegan. You're participating in murder, which I think is fine because I'm not gonna become a vegan because it's murder. I definitely don't support. I know this is getting off the rails, but I definitely don't support chicken and cows and all that being in torture camps. But I eat meat, and I think with that definition, that counts as murder. And if you say you're pro-life, but you eat meat, you're not really pro-life. But I think it's okay. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a vegan. So I can't, for that reason, I can't be, if I'm being intellectually honest, I'd say, yes, abortion is murder by that definition, but I don't think I can't be against it for that alone. There has to be something else for me to be intellectually, honestly debated or be against it. But think about it like men who are, whether they're on child support or not. Let's say you get a woman pregnant and she doesn't want to keep it. She's going to go and get an abortion. If she can. Now that has happened before. It's not like abortion's never ever been legal. It's happened before. But if a woman can get an abortion legally and they're fighting for it, which, like I said, I'm not really saying abortion is right or wrong. I really am apolitical on this topic because I see the argument for both sides. But let's look at it, let's compare it to men. You get her pregnant. She goes in and gets an abortion. You don't want her to kill it. Like, I actually saw a video of a dad. He was outside the clinic begging her not to kill his son. And she went and killed it anyway because feminism. But let's say he's okay with it and she goes and gets an abortion. Okay. There's like four different outcomes. They're both okay with getting an abortion. Okay. They're both okay with keeping it. Okay, they're parents. Only one of them is okay with the abortion. That's her choice. Only one of them is okay with keeping it. Still her choice.
Correct.
So she can choose to keep it. She can choose to abort it. I understand she is the one carrying it, but there's got to be some sort of I guess recognition of the double standard here.
Right.
Because, like I said, that father was not happy that she was going to kill his son. And plenty of people are going to argue it's her body, her choice. And then, let's say, on the other side of the coin, maybe he doesn't want to keep it. Oh, well, you're a deadbeat.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't. So a woman is, it's always, there is I guess it's baked into society that men are always the bad guy. So always the villain. So if she wants to keep it and he doesn't, deadbeat. If she wants to abort it and he doesn't, well then he's just, I don't know what you call that, chauvinist or something.
Right.
He's a piece of shit either way.
Right.
Unless he gets on board with her doing whatever she wants, then either way you paint it, he's a piece of shit. But there is a one thing I definitely wanted to go in on was the idea that anytime a relationship ends, it always seems to be that the woman is okay. The switch flips; they're no longer in love. They can't just have a peaceful depart. Whether we broke up, because most of the time, I don't know a percentage of the time, I'm done with you. I'm breaking up with you, or she's done with you, breaking up with you, and it's not a good breaking up. But sometimes you just depart. You're just like, oh, it's a mutual breakup, whatever. It doesn't matter which way. The switch will flip, and all of a sudden, she has to figure out a way to paint you as the bad guy. You've got to be the villain because she has to be perfect. And I'll give you an example. There's an actress by the name of Halle Bailey. No, wait, so there's Halle Berry, then there's Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey is the one.
Okay.
Halle Bailey is a black actress. I don't know how she's probably like 25 or something. I don't know. And she is very famous for her role. I don't know what else she played in, but she's very famous for her role as the live action Little Mermaid, because it got a lot of controversy because the Little Mermaid is a white girl, which she's a mermaid. She's
right.
half human, half fish. A lot of people got mad that they made her black. I think it's not really that big a deal because you can't just take a mermaid, a fictional character, make her white, and then all of a sudden she has to stay white.
Right.
Yeah, she has to stay white. I think a lot of conservatives on the right were upset that they changed her race, but that's not the big deal. That's not the big deal. I think they were just clutching their pearls. But what is a big deal is that when her and her boyfriend broke up, and they have, I don't know if they have 1 or 2 children, but he wanted to be involved in their life, and she was keeping it from him. Because that's the thing. It goes beyond whether or not she wants to keep the children, whether she wants to carry the pregnancy to term, or whether she wants to abort it. Either way, it's her choice. The man has no say in it at all. But maybe if she decides to, she can just, out of spite, for no reason. If she had reason to be vengeful or spiteful, then okay, maybe we can, some people can get on board in certain circumstances. But it's most cases there's no reason whatsoever. Just I'm just gonna keep my kids from him, and we'll see what he does.
Or they find something that they can use against the male.
Mm-hmm.
That
you have anything personal about that?
I do. Yeah.
Go ahead.
First, let me jump on this real quick, man. As far as my stance on abortion goes, I think that it is bad if you carry a baby to term or close to term. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is when it's ready to come out. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it should be allowed.
Listen, the thing I don't do is I don't morally preach, but I can agree. I can get on board with you. Just the thought of
I mean, a baby's about to come out.
yeah,
You
just
know?
the thought of that makes me cringe. It makes me feel. I mean, I feel bad about that. I don't know how anybody can feel okay with that. And a lot of studies show that a lot of women who get abortions end up regretting it. Now, like I said, I do not morally preach on this topic because I don't. I'm not pro-life. I'm not pro-choice. I'm not going to say I'm pro-life all the way. But when it comes to pro-choice, there's a lot of gray areas. And one thing is for sure is that me, in my opinion, and the way that I just am up here, the way that they perform these abortions, especially if it's late term, it's like how do I explain it? It's disturbing.
Yeah.
And I can't be comfortable. I can't sit comfortable with that.
And see, and that's something I don't know, and I don't know if I really care to know, because but I said that to say this. I do believe if a woman is, how do I say this? If she's taken advantage of, and she don't want, there's a word for it, but I don't want to put that word out there. Begins with an R, ends with an E. If a woman goes through something like that and ends up pregnant, by all means, I believe she has 100% full right, even if she struggles with it to close to full term. Because I mean, when a woman goes through something like that, dude, it's they're especially if it's a moral woman, that when a woman has to fight something like that, it could last up to full term. I do believe they should have the right, because think about it,
And I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that.
So I do believe that would be, if anything, an exception in my mind. I also do believe strongly, as in, okay, so you don't have the child, or you don't want to keep it, having to put it up for adoption. I mean, that's another route to, not necessarily, like, I'm like you, dude. I straddle the fence a little bit, but I do have some qualms to where I think it should be 100% legal for him. It's certain, depending on the situation.
I definitely do want to point out that a lot of people believe. I used to believe this. I don't know how true this would be, but a lot of people believe that if it was men that got pregnant,
right,
abortion would be. There'd be more abortion clinics than churches.
Right.
They'd be at every corner.
This is probably true.
That's probably true.
But in the same breath,
yeah, there are a lot of women who are against abortion too. It's
Yeah.
not men against women. It's because there are men who are pro-choice. Men and women who are pro-choice, and then men and women who are pro-life.
Right.
So it's not. It is a sex debate. Not like, because you got plenty of political debates
Right.
when it comes to race, class, and then sex, men and women. This is men and women, but you got men and women on both sides.
right.
But
So I think it boils down to some kind of moral. It's a morally hot debated subject. But like I said, in my opinion, and probably yours too, I think we're riding together on this one. There are certain situations that might happen to a woman where it's almost vital.
I'll give you a good one. The R word is one of them I can get on board with. But what's more important than that is, let's say there is complications with the pregnancy. And in order to deal with that complication, it would mean the termination of the fetus. It would
Right.
mean it would spell termination.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be intentionally. But it would be knowingly, but it wouldn't be intentional, because it's
Right.
like, okay, we got to save this woman's life. We got to take care of her health. But in doing this, we're going to help her out. But, and I'm no doctor, so I don't know the specifics, but just putting it basically, to give her the treatment. I don't know what complications. Maybe it's growing. Maybe it's there's a.
In other words, if she has it, it's going to kill her, type thing, like, or somewhere cause serious harm to her.
Yes. And in taking care of her, it would spell the termination of the child. I think that should be okay.
Yeah.
I think that should be okay. Now some women, I think, I know a lot of. Well, I don't know personally, but I know there's definitely a lot of women out there who say, if my life is at risk, and I'm about and it's me or the baby, choose the baby.
Yeah.
There are a lot of women out here there who will sacrifice their life.
Right, but there's a lot of
before they get an
men
abortion
as well when they're like, look, I've known you for 25 years of my life. You're having a baby. I don't know this baby. I don't, I want you. I want you're my soulmate.
I'll give you an anecdotal example. There was this couple I knew years ago, and they're both conservative. They're both right. They're both Republican, anti-abortion, pro-life all the way. And he had told me that his wife, when she was pregnant with one of their sons, I think maybe before they even had any kids, she told him, because this is definitely a topic you want to discuss with your partner,
right?
Especially if you're on her side. She says, listen, if there's complications with our pregnancy, if there's complications and it's me or the baby, if you choose me, you'll never see me again. You'll have none. You'll have neither.
Wow.
Yeah, she said if you kill, if you agree, maybe she's unconscious or whatever, maybe she's in a coma, or she's unable to make a decision, and it's on to the husband or the father to say, listen, we can save her, but it's going to mean an abortion.
What a choice. Dude.
What a choice. But I mean, it's easily made with a conversation, because she made it simple. She said, if you choose me,
that's pretty cut and dry.
That'd be pointless, because I'll be leaving you.
Yeah,
I'll leave you.
Pretty cut and dry.
So
what do you do in a situation like that? Like, I mean, would you? That's heavy, dude.
Yeah,
that's heavy.
Some decisions are easier than others. For some people than others.
Right.
For me, man, actually, it's not as easy when you think about it.
No, because it's like this. She'll turn away and never, she'll never see him again. Mm-hmm. But he'll know that she's still around. She's always got that chance to have another child. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna kill. You're gonna let me die to have one child when you can terminate this one child, or we're gonna say fetus, and I have a chance to have 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, just for the record, I'm pretty sure we both agree. If the woman's life is at risk, I think, depending on her will to live,
right.
It's her choice. I mean, like I said, if she will give her life for the child,
right,
so be it. But let's say she wants to live, her family wants to live. She's got the veto. She's got, however you say it. She's got the.
She's got the say so.
She's got the gavel.
There you go.
Yeah.
The hammer.
Yeah. I will just get pregnant again. And I want to live.
Yeah, I think you have. I think you have more of a chance. Like, unless it's something that completely damages their ovaries or whatever. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, they have a chance to get pregnant again. Mm-hmm. So. But I also do think that's where there's some kind of divine intervention where women have miscarriages. Mm-hmm. And that, believe it or not, as terrible as miscarriages are, it saves a lot of terrible decision making from taking place. Because I know people who's had miscarriages 2 or 3 times and ended up having 4 or 5 children. Mm-hmm. So. And even after the miscarriages, they say, "Oh, you'll never be able to have children again," and they end up having them. So I actually know a couple people who've gone through that.
Yeah, you want to know what's crazy about? I've never really understood the grief that couples go through with miscarriages, because in my head it was hard to kind of like describing emotions to a robot. With these particular emotions, when I first heard as a kid what a miscarriage was, when I hear about it, I'm like, you didn't know the baby,
right? That's
I know it sounds stupid, but that's what goes through my head. It's like I understand that it is an emotional. You do grieve, and couples will go through grief, but it's grief I never understood, and I understood that it's something that, because there's certain grief that you won't know until you go through it, or some forms of grief you don't ever want to go through,
right?
Like burying your kids. Like that's like you live your life and your kids bury you.
Imagine.
That's what everyone wants. You don't ever want to bury your kid, but if through a miscarriage, I never thought that counted. It's like, oh, it's a miscarriage,
right?
But think about it like this: you're a couple. you're pregnant. You carry this through months and months and months. It's not like it was miscarried right away.
Right, and you get tired, like every conversation, every
Especially
moment,
for the woman.
right? And you but I think you're so involved in the future that you don't stop and think about what's at hand.
But picture this. I don't know how many months in, but it's 6+ months into the pregnancy. The woman has already gone through changes, already probably started lactating, already 6 months of effort, pretty much. I mean, when you think about it, 6 months of effort on top of that. To add on top of that, you've already got a crib, you already got the room picked out, you already got it painted with butterflies or whatever,
Clothes and whatnot,
and you got and then you come back from the hospital and they're all there.
Yeah,
they're all there and empty.
Yeah,
to welcome
nothing.
I
understand that's fucking heavy.
That's gotta be heavy.
Yeah, but at the same time, I would think I would try to think ahead. Okay, we lost this. Look, hey bro, can you do me a favor? Go to the house and clear everything out. Everything that was there for the baby, take it out and put it in storage. We don't want to see this when we get home.
Yeah.
There's steps but like you said, there's unless you're actually put in that particular situation, it's easy to pick apart, especially from where we stand. But again, like some people are more emotional than others. Some people waited their whole life to have a child. So it's really, it's hard to say. There's not a right and a wrong in this. It's an individual. It's an individual thing, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to the abortion. It's an individual conversation. Yeah. Not everybody's going to have the same issues. Not everybody's going to think about it the same. I don't. I mean, if you could take 10 people, and I can guarantee you'll have 10 different opinions or 10 different conversations on why shouldn't. I don't think it would be the same.
Yeah. But yeah, that's something that I could never relate to until you grow up and you realize that there's details that the smallest of details can hit real heavy.
And then go back to what you said, like it could be like 6 months. They've already have the sonogram and the pictures of the baby moving, and they've already heard the heartbeat and all that shit.
Yeah.
So that raises the bar. Like it
for sure.
Yeah, bro, it's heavy.
But yeah,
I didn't realize this conversation was going to make me feel some kind of way, bro. It's kind of weird how it just kind of makes you like, damn. There's people out there going through what we're talking about, and
And that's why, and you know what? That circles back around. That's why some women they would rather die in the hospital than to go home to that empty crib.
Right.
Or go home to those empty little baby shoes.
Yeah. Oh man.
They would rather
say empty little baby shoes, bro. You had to throw that in there.
Empty little baby shoes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But
we got to shine light on it somewhere because it's getting kind of dark right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think that. Wait, we were talking about that R word.
Yeah. I think that's one of the number one, because there's a lot of women that happens to a lot of women, dude. It does.
Yeah.
They're like, no, and it happens anyway.
I knew what I was gonna say. My when my ex and I, when my girlfriend at the time back in 2022, and this was at a time where I definitely didn't want any kids ever. Didn't want any kids. I used protection. In fact, the year prior, I wanted to get. I think I may have mentioned this on one of the previous episodes. I wanted to get a vasectomy.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a vasectomy, and I pretty much just wanted to fire blanks. I didn't want to worry about a condom. I didn't want to worry about her taking birth control. But I was talked out of it by the doctor because I had found out before I got consultation. They have to talk to, okay, so here's the procedure, here's what's going on, here's what to expect, make sure that you know what the process is. And then he definitely said, he pretty much counseled me like a therapist. He said, you probably don't want to do this. He said, I'm not going to perform this on you until you give it like 6 months to a year and then come back and do it.
And he was pretty much accurate, like, as far as you changing your mind or whatever. How old were you when
what was I? 25. I was 25.
Okay. So he pretty much...
This was 3.5 years. What was that, 3.5 years? Yeah, 3.5 years, because this was September of 21.
Okay.
So if my math is right, 3.5 years ago. So yeah, I could go back.
You weren't 25, right?
Huh?
Did you say 3.5 years? It's like
3.5 years ago, I was 25.
Okay,
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I'm glad he talked me out of it, because even if I never have kids, I thought about it later. It's like
having the option is something different, huh?
Yeah, because I would, especially for something as it is technically reversible, but it's going to cost $800 to get a vasectomy, around about $800 to get one, and then $10,000 to get it reversed.
A little bit of a price difference there, isn't it?
And then on top of that, after you pay the $10,000 to get the reverse procedure, it might not even work still. Like only a lucky few, a percentage less than half are able to successfully reverse it, and then end up having kids and not fire blanks,
right?
So to speak. But I was glad for a number of reasons that he talked me out of it. One is that I didn't want to be... I was about to say infertile, but that's the wrong word. I didn't want to be...
You said it right by saying shooting blanks. Like, that's hilarious.
Well, no, the main... I didn't want to be... how do you say it? It wouldn't be... I would feel like less of a man if I didn't have if I were firing blanks, because at the end of the day I could just use condoms. She could use birth control, and then if something were to happen, then so be it. I think it'd be better than, because then at the same time, if I ever have a kid, maybe even if it is an accident, which is unfortunate, you know, because no one wants to be an accident, but at the end of the day, I would definitely be glad that it happens, because no one, very few people, male or female, have a kid and then end up regretting it. When my girlfriend and I were together in 2022, so about a year later, I still did not want any kids. So I was using, I think she was using birth control, but it was pointless, because it was like she was using birth control, but I was not ever without a condom.
Yeah.
So there was one time where she definitely said she was late, scared the fuck out of me, and I had looked up into Plan B, which would be abortion pill. Which, like I said, I'm on the fence when it comes to abortion. But if you're taking a Plan B, like, that's like early on, and I don't think that matters.
Right.
But now I don't know. I'd have to sit, you know, or stay in the shower for a long time and think about it, or stare at the ceiling before I go to bed and think about how I would feel now if she did get pregnant and I gave her a Plan B pill, because she was going to take it. She would take it if she got pregnant. She was definitely going to take it. Now, I didn't say her name. I'm not going to name drop her,
right,
but because I don't want to put her business out there.
Right.
But I'm going to put her business out there, but I'm never going to. You're not going to know. No one's going to know who it is.
Right.
Well, no, never mind. People are going to figure out who it is. Never mind. I'll say that, but I'm not going to say anything else. People are going to figure out who it is.
It's crazy, because I wouldn't, and there's probably, I'm not going to say thousands of people listen to us. I want to say that we still need to start promoting. But yeah. I will say that out of let's say there's 1,200 people listening, probably 95% of them is not going to know shit, you know. And that's a wonderful thing about something like this, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to be on the safe side, because I mean, I was going to say something, but it's not really going to add much to the episode.
Right.
But other than that, I'll say that, because that's like that involves me.
Yeah.
So like I said, I would have definitely given her a Plan B pill, and she would have definitely taken it. But I don't know how it would feel now.
Right. That was then in how many years down the road, you know.
Yeah.
I understand that, man.
But then again, well, nah. As I was going to say, because I used protection, like, I prevented any chance of her getting pregnant. So how do I feel now? Like, I stopped all the pregnancies that could have happened, but I don't feel it. So
I was never a big condom fan, like, ever. Mm-hmm. But my first child with my now ex-wife, my first child, she was on birth control.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. She was on birth control. I don't know, like, if she had missed. Like, I don't know, but I do know she was on it, and I do know that it ended up happening, and that'd be my oldest boy, and I'm glad it happened because he's leading a pretty decent, productive life.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to regret it.
Yeah, Yeah, because I'm seeing what he ended. And granted, I have not been there for over half of his life, but sitting back, looking at him from afar, it's like, okay, cool. Dude ended up all right. Dude, he's a hard worker. He ended up still getting what I wanted distilled in him. He still ended up getting that. So I couldn't be happier with him, dude. I'm proud of him. Man, if I call him a dude, he's there. If I need help, he's there. So it's he don't hold a grudge against me. He does have. And I'm sorry, dude. I'm not gonna put your name out there, but people are gonna know who I'm talking about as well. Mm-hmm. But he does have questions he wants answers to. Mm-hmm. Like one in particular, I really, I did 8.5 years in prison. I got my time. He was, I think he's a 10-day-old baby. Like, I actually got to, before I was getting my time, mm-hmm. She was there. She just had him, and I got to. They took the handcuffs off me, and I got to hold him before I did my 8.5 years. So from 2005 to 2013, I wasn't there. I watched him grow up through pictures. I watched him grow up through whatever, visitations, whatnot. And when I got home, dude, when you end up in a situation like that and you get out to a ready-made family, it's not something that you're prepared for. So I know it was hard for him. I know it was hard for me. It was hard for everybody. So, you never know, me not being there, I know it hurt him, but at the same time, me being there could have also possibly caused more damage. So you never know, like, things pan out the way they pan out for a reason. So, like I said, man, I'm proud of the dude. He does good. Hard worker. In the National Guard. He's about to leave. So, yeah, dude. She did a good job raising a man. I mean, I guess as good as she could have. Yeah. And that's the only credit you'll get from me. I'm not going to give you all, I'm not going to give her too much credit. But as far as the kids go, dude, I couldn't ask for a better mom.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But I do suggest, like, it's weird. Okay, so you're 29, man. I'm 45. Mm-hmm. These days, I don't think I would want any children. Not because I'm anti-kids or anything like. It's just how fucked up the world is.
Yeah.
And now you have a child being born into technology. It's no longer fucking out riding your bikes till dark, and when you see the street lights come on, it's time to come in. It's a little bit different, man. So I don't know. I would definitely. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Having a kid now with this economy, and it's getting terrible.
I mean, dude.
You have just one kid, and that could spell the end of it financially.
Yeah.
Even if you're financially good, even if you're financially good, that could spell the end of it.
But now on that, I'm not trying to veer off the dark topic or anything. I just had some. So you did hear what Trump did, right? Our president.
He passed this bill that everyone's talking about.
Okay, the one that if you have a child born at a certain date, they get like $1,000 put into like an account or a trust fund or some shit like that, and they can't touch it till they're 18. It could grow to $5,000. It could grow to $30,000 or $40,000. Mm-hmm. So when this kid, when he's 18, he has a jump start, and it's not solely on the parents. They have the. I thought that was pretty.
Yeah,
that's a noble thing to do.
I mean, on paper that sounds good, but I think I did not know about that.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm thinking Donald Trump should be impeached.
Really?
Yeah, I know that. I know we'd probably disagree with that.
Probably so, but
Yeah.
okay. Let me hear your reason.
Well, he's he got inaugurated just 5 months ago, right? Five, no, six, 7 months,
January.
7 months ago.
Yeah.
It already feels like his term should be up. It already feels like 4 years. This is the longest 4 years ever. Mainly because he's this bill. Here's the thing.
So you're talking about the big beautiful bill, I suppose.
Let me be specific, because Donald Trump, you heard what everyone was saying about this bill. Bad. The left has been saying about this bill. This bill is going to cause hospitals to close
even
down.
Elon was talking about it was not good, it wouldn't be good to pass. That's what really caused their fallout.
Okay.
Between him and Elon Musk, Elon was like, "Hey, this is not going to be a good bill to pass." But
I could be wrong about this, but here's a lot of people think. Well, why is Donald Trump doing this to this bill? Why is he not paying attention to the hospitals that are going to close down? A lot of people who are not going to be able to get the right medical attention in time. Let's say somebody has a heart attack and the hospital that was closest to them is shut down because of this bill. Then they're not going to make it.
So I don't understand what part of the bill is going to cause hospitals to shut down. Because I do know part of the bill was like medical workers, police, there's no tax on overtime anymore. So that boost, that's a good thing for them.
Yeah.
You work 50 hours and then you have, you cut it after 40, it's OT. So I don't understand quite where it would.
Well, from what I heard, it's going to cut funding. It's going to cut a lot of medical funding, and that's going to cause. Let's say you have a hospital that is set up out around
like some charity.
Yeah,
shit.
because there are plenty of people that live in the middle of nowhere. So because they're in the middle of nowhere, they already have a far drive to a hospital. Now, of course, you could say, "Well, move out of the middle of nowhere." That's not really going to be effective. But, say whatever you want. But they're out in the middle of nowhere, but there is a hospital. But because it's going to cut funding, all right, which hospitals are we going to cut? We're going to cut the ones out in the middle of nowhere or close to the middle of nowhere.
See,
So
I missed that part of it, but I don't know enough about it to really to chime in on it. So
I'll
probably look.
I'll probably do more research for the next episode because
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, and I definitely don't. I'm not like the smartest guy in the world, but I will say this, and I will give this reason why I think Donald Trump should be impeached. This is the main reason. It is based on opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Donald Trump, anytime he hears any opposition to what he thinks, he shuts it down as fake news. He shuts it down as a lie or wrong. And to go even further, most of anything, let's say he has a bad idea, and no one objects to it, because everyone around him says it's a good idea, but it's a bad idea. Let's say he has a terrible idea. Everybody says, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yes, Donald Trump, you got a good idea. No one tells him it's a bad idea because guess what? The one guy who says it's a bad idea gets fired. So,
Okay.
and hey, Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, he actually put on social media a little ways back, I think before or after him and JD Vance and Donald Trump had argued in the White House.
Okay.
That he had posted online. He said Donald Trump is in a bubble. He pretty much exists in a bubble. He only hears a certain amount of information, but he doesn't hear anything else. And then JD Vance had responded and said, "Oh, bad mouthing the president of the United States is not a good way to strike a deal with us."
Right.
Which pretty much just shut him down, because maybe, just maybe, Donald Trump only hears information in a bubble. It doesn't hear both sides.
Yeah.
But I'll do more research on it.
We are in total disagree on it. I do want to chime in on that. Okay, so this is myth versus fact on the One Big Beautiful Bill. Okay, and it goes myth fact. Here's okay. So myth, the One Big Beautiful Bill is just a tax break for billionaires. Fact, One Big Beautiful Bill delivers the largest middle and working class tax cut in U.S. history. The president's legislation will put more than $10,000 a year back in the pockets of typical. Okay, I'm trying to find the one for the medical. The One Big Beautiful Bill kicks American families off Medicaid. As the president has said numerous times, there will be no cuts to Medicaid. The One Big Beautiful Bill protects and strengthens Medicaid for those, which I'm one of them, who rely on it: pregnant women, children, seniors, people with disabilities, low-income families. While eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse, the One Big Beautiful Bill removes illegal aliens and first enforces work requirements and protects Medicaid for cuts Medicare. Medicare has not been touched in this bill. Absolutely nothing in the bill reduces spending on Medicare benefits. The legislation does not make a single cut to welfare programs. It safeguards and protects these myths. The One Big Beautiful Bill will close rural hospitals. Rural hospitals comprise just 7% of all hospital spending on Medicaid, illustrating that they have not benefited from the massive increase in waste, fraud, and abuse under the Biden administration. By strengthening the Medicaid, we are making more resources available for vulnerable populations and safety net providers. Like rural hospitals, we are expanding rural hospital protection, providing targeting funds for rural care, and giving states flexibility to support the local providers. So I don't know, like what you're telling me is something new that I've heard. But then again, a lot of times when people don't like Trump, it's just they got tunnel vision. Mm-hmm. It's like it's like my mom, dude. My mom is the worst when it comes to hating this president. Mm-hmm. Like to the point where I'll take a picture of him or some shit and I'll just text it to her. And she'll throw up in her mouth. It's like I took a picture of him one day. He had this. He was all swole up with the American flag tattooed on him, and I fucking sent the picture to my mom, and she sent me back the throw up emojis.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. Like from what I can see, like case and given point, bro. From what we had to choose from president wise. I don't know if anybody else, if I would feel comfortable with anybody else in the office at this point in time with the wars going on and all that. I don't know if example, if you put a woman in office, and eventually it's going to happen. I don't have any qualms with that. It's pretty cool, I think, for us to grow like that. But I do also know women are emotional, and if it comes to the point where saving the U.S. means obliterating a third world country, then they're gonna straddle the fence when shit needs to be done right then. So there's a bunch of like I said, I think he's the perfect one at this point, time wise, to be in office. I
hope you're right, because I mean, for me, the main thing that I when it comes to anything political, what I mostly pay attention to is the economy and the wealth. And I think, and if you would have asked me back during Donald Trump's first term, I would have been like, he's doing great. Business is booming. Yeah, money is flowing where it should be.
And it's getting there again, but it's a slower process.
Yeah, no, I mean, think about what he did. What did he do? He had the stock market took a shit earlier this year because he forgot what he did. Do you remember what he did? Remember when the stock market crashed like worse than 2008? Just earlier this year.
I know that. I know that
the tariffs.
The tariffs, yeah.
The tariffs. That's what it was. The tariffs. And when I saw that, I was like, oh wait, everyone voted for Donald Trump. Like the main reason was so that we can afford milk, eggs, and bread again. And then he does that shit, and then milk, eggs, and bread is more expensive than you've ever seen it.
You're right.
So
You're right.
I hope that situation is just it cools down, because
Speaking
right
of milk,
now,
I need to get some.
Yeah, right now, dude, groceries are so expensive. I can't even believe it.
Yeah. No. I see, bro. Speaking of which, I seen a video of what it's like to live in Alaska or whatever. So this dude went to a store, and what was it? A jar of Ocean Spray cranberry juice, $23 fucking for a regular jug, $23.
Jesus,
dude. Yes, this is in Alaska.
Okay, yeah,
but still,
why is it so expensive over there?
Don't know, bro, but it was insane. Like a jar of peanut butter a jar of mayonnaise was $28.
Jesus Christ! I think it has something to do with anyone who is a resident of Alaska, and there might be some terms.
You get a check. You get a check. You get a yearly check for living in Alaska.
You know about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually have an uncle that lived in Alaska. Yeah, you do get a check, but dude, I think it's there are stipulations to get the money or whatever, but I don't think it's that much. I thought it was like 1,200 a year or some shit like that.
Hey, I wanted to get back to Halle Bailey. She's the like I said, she's the actress who played the Little Mermaid in the live action, which I think anybody who was upset about that would be clutching pearls. I don't think it was a big deal, but what's a big deal is when she had her and her boyfriend had kids. I think, like I said, I think they have two. She was keeping them from him. So she was keeping them from him, and he wanted to. I worked with a guy who was upset because his girl wouldn't let him see his kids, and it comes down to, like, this guy I used to work with. Just a little aside, this guy I used to work with, the way she would behave is she knows what he wants most. If it's not sex, then it's to want to see his kids. And that's probably the one thing that a lot of men would want more than to have sex with this girl. Like, I want to see my kids, that my son, my daughter, my everything. And she and just for the fun of it, and you think about it in like terms of just for the sport of it, make him dangle it like it's a carrot on a string, and make him sit, bark, and roll over like a dog, just for the amusement, just to laugh, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't, think about it, if you're a woman, if he doesn't do every little thing that you say, every little, just to make him submissive, just to watch him get submissive,
yeah,
then you can just, use the court system and say, no, he, and then even lie and say he's abusive.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what happened to this guy who was dating Halle Bailey. Because once she found out, he wants to be in our children's lives. He really wants to be in our children's lives. So what she cannot do is paint him as a deadbeat. That's not her chess move. That he made that chess move to where he says, listen, I want to be in their lives, but she's preventing me from doing that. So what's her next chess move? To make sure that she's perfect and he's a bad guy. He's abusive, not only to me, but to our children too. She did that. She pulled that shit. And you know what? And you know what else came out? There was a video that when they were still together, like, a flashback when they were still dating. She shows up to his place with a knife. Only because she said, don't stream. Don't get, because he's a YouTube streamer. He's a YouTube streamer. He gets on, plays Fortnite or whatever. I don't know. And she said, don't get on stream today. Just, because that's how women are. Like, I'm going to tell you, don't wear that. Don't do that. Let's see if I can tell him what to do. And if he doesn't do what I say, then whatever stupid shit that I have dangled on a
malicious fucking game, bro.
Yeah, whatever stupid shit I have dangled on a string, I'll just yank it away from him. And I said, don't stream. And then he streams. She showed up to his place with a knife. This is Halle Bailey, an actress. It's ridiculous. But here's what hits the nail on the head. And this is why I think that marriage is stupid. It makes no sense. Other than, like I said in the last episode, if you're a billionaire and you want to get married just for the $1 million wedding, and then it lasts 5 years, and then you have another $1 million wedding with a different wife, and you have, you have a wife and 5 ex-wives, and because maybe you're Jeff Bezos or whatever. I think he only has one ex-wife, but right. Or maybe you're polygamous and you want 5 wives at once.
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
bro,
that'd be nice. But
I don't know. Having to deal with 10, 15 women.
You know what I just thought of? I don't even know if this has to exist because of think about polygamy and polygamy in marriage.
Yeah.
You picture a man with multiple wives.
Right.
But is there a woman with multiple husbands?
Has to exist.
It has to exist
because that'd be such a double standard.
Yeah. But I would never.
No.
That sounds awful.
It does when it's turned around like that.
Yeah. That who would get into a mess like that?
That's such a good point, dude.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Lord have mercy.
But the reason why marriage is terrible and should and no man should ever accept it. But the men who accept marriage, they're either believe in this la fairy tale crap that oh she loves me,
Right.
or they're desperate and they want to lock her down, because you think about it, if you marry her, you think, oh, I have her, I'm afraid of losing her, so I'll marry her.
Right.
But you'll still lose her, because then she'll just cheat like after the honeymoon.
Mine.
Sometimes she'll cheat on the honeymoon. But let's see. Okay, so divorce. So here. Listen to this. The divorce laws in this country, well, no, actually in many countries, divorce settlements can lead to men paying alimony or losing a significant portion of their assets. Alimony. Think about it. Alimony. Oh, you think child support can cripple you? Alimony is even, because child support you can justify, because like, oh yeah, you got her pregnant. She's not going to raise the kid on her own. You got to pitch in and give her and financially support.
Right.
But alimony makes no sense.
So what is that? Alimony when you just pay them to?
When you get a divorce, if you didn't sign a prenup, even sometimes when you sign a prenup, you've heard of a prenup, right?
Prenuptial agreement, yeah.
Yeah, a prenuptial agreement. Alimony is the idea that once you divorce, the man has to continue to pay her, like you know how you continue to get like a disability check from the government.
Is this a woman? So you're married to somebody who don't work? She's just a housewife or whatever. Is it a woman that works? Is like what's the?
Well, the reason, I'm glad you brought that up, because the reason behind alimony was because back in the day, the man would go out, he would work, while the woman would stay home and cook and clean and maybe take care of the kids,
right,
if they had some. And then if a divorce were to happen, then she would be, I guess, up a creek without a paddle, because she wouldn't be able to support herself on her own, because she was just at home cooking or whatever. I definitely heard the argument that if you were a stay-at-home mom, especially back in the day before women were working, back in the 50s, you could, I don't know for sure, but think about it. You had experience in the kitchen. You had experience with children. You can get a job at a daycare. You get a job as a server. I don't know how that economy was back then when it comes to being a server.
Probably wasn't that great.
Or I don't even know. When
did it exist?
I sound stupid, but I don't know when daycares were invented.
You don't sound stupid, bro.
But yeah, I mean, think about it. Let's just, for all intents and purposes, back then, yeah, there was a reason for alimony, because you get a divorce as a woman. All you did was stay home and cook and clean, and I mean, very important work right there. I mean, I would never say that it was useless, but for one reason or another, now you got to get on the job market. You got to get a job, but how are you going to do that if you're a woman divorced in the 50s?
Yeah.
But now there's no reason, because now all you're doing is just paying a woman just because she's a woman.
That's crazy. I didn't know. I really didn't know that's what alimony was. So you just.
Yeah, I mean.
You're supporting them.
Yeah, I would have to for the next episode look up different examples of men paying alimony.
Yeah, we need to write that down.
Yeah, I'll remember. I'll look it up. But if you don't sign a prenup, then she can just take a huge chunk of your stuff too, like your assets. Let's say you have, she could probably take your car. Like, you bought the car, you own the car, but no, because
she was using it or whatever, or
for whatever reason. Oh, they'll figure out any loophole.
So alimony is still a real thing. It's very much well and alive.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, definitely. Okay. Child support. Even if custody is split or contested, men often end up paying child support, sometimes disproportionate to their income. You know more. You know all about that. You just explained that. Before divorce, let's say you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage, you're not divorced, but your lifestyle changes, because a lot of men feel they lose freedom and have to compromise on personal interests, hobbies, and friendships, or career decisions in a marriage. Because nowadays, you happy wife, happy life. You get married, all of a sudden she's telling you what to do. I mean, how you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
All of a sudden she's telling you what to do. And then most men who operate in a fear of loss, they always like, oh yeah, happy wife, happy life. Oh, do what she says. All the while, if you sit, bark, and roll over for your wife or even your girlfriend, but any girl, but let's say your wife, the more she's gonna lose respect for you. The more she's gonna lose, and that's the double-edged sword about it, because, like I told you, in many circumstances, women try to get you to do what they say. Maybe they have certain leverage points. They're going to utilize that leverage to get you to pretty much be their bitch. And then once they've accomplished that, they lose respect and then cheat on you.
Right.
So, yeah, you lose a whole ton of freedom in marriage. Sexual access, so a common.
So they sit there and turn you into less of a man, and then they want to cheat on you with someone who they think is manly.
Yeah, because there's definitely a psychological reason for that. It's called the dual mating strategy. I don't know if I've said this on another episode, but the dual mating strategy is a woman will seek out a man who will do most of what she needs. Women don't need most of what they needed back 10,000 years ago when we were in the caves, because they can make their own money. If they if they were in danger, then they can call the police, and the police will come, and it's men that they're not dating, so they can just have men on standby
Right.
to come and help them. So they don't need a man to protect them, because they already have men on 911. They already have men that they can call to do this or do that. Let's say they need to move a couch. They got the moving companies, they got the plumbing companies, they got this and that. Yeah. And but they're gonna find a man who can pretty much be their wallet, or their ATM, to be their ATM, and to give them attention and be romantic, because they like when the man is romantic. But this is the man that they're like, okay, so this is the man that is going to provide and provide for me financially. He's going to be the shoulder to cry on, and he's going to give me attention and tell me I'm beautiful. And then I'm going to cheat on him with Chad at work, at the office, because he doesn't give me any attention. So I respect him more. So the guy who I'm married to, I have everything from him, but I just can't respect him. But this guy over here, who I can't, who is hard to get, who is, all the other women in the office are talking about how amazing he is. So I'm gonna cheat on my husband, and he's not gonna know. But what benefits me is that I get the best of both worlds, because I get this man the office guy who's gonna break my back, and then if I get pregnant from him, then all I gotta do is go home to my husband and have sex with him, and then when I get pregnant, he's gonna think it's his,
bro.
Because this boils down to, you can have all the appreciation for that. The husband figured that I painted for you, the guy who thinks he's doing everything right.
The poor schmuck.
Yeah, he's romantic. He loves her. He cares about her. He thinks he's doing everything right. And in a way, he is doing everything right if he wants to stay in that that position where she doesn't respect him, but she just loves him. Maybe she does love him, but she doesn't respect him. But the reason why she can't respect him or even be attracted to him at all, even though she got what she wanted from him, like all that he's doing is it's not like she doesn't like it, but it's not the characteristics. The husband is not the character. It does not have the characteristics of someone who needs to spread his genes, pretty much. Because think about it. In nature, you have the men who, how do I say it? They create offspring, and the
alpha.
Alpha. But the men who create offspring and the men who don't. The men who create offspring, are the ones who think about it. You got a man. A woman's deep down inside, she's gonna look at two men. Take two men. She's gonna look at one and say, he needs to copy, he needs to duplicate, And then she's going to look at another guy and say, he can't, because we can't have another one of him. So the guy who, unfortunately, the guy who is romantic and loving and complimenting, he does not need, we do not need more of him, because he's weak, spineless, and he's a doormat, which is good for her, but she already has that. She doesn't need another one of him. She needs to make another one of this guy who says no, who does what he wants, and my husband's going to think it's his kid anyway, so they really don't feel bad for wasting, because, I mean, at the end of the day, there is nothing more upsetting, and it's good to know this. It's good to know this and put this out there, because feminists, I don't know how this, I mean, we have like 4 subscribers, so I don't know if any of them are going to be, I mean, if we get 100,000 subscribers, the feminists are going to think, oh, episode 5 was horrible. I'm not saying that I heard one guy on YouTube say, it's neither a bad thing nor a good thing. It's just a thing. It's just the way it is, and you're not going to change it by complaining. Now, I want to make it real clear that it's less to do with complaining about the way it is, and more about understanding. Because complaining is like trying to change it. No one's going to change it. It's all about understanding what it is. Because feminists, well, not feminists. I'm just
some people in general.
Feminists and people in general, they're gonna be upset because it's like something you don't want people to know. You don't want people to know that this is the way it is, and they're gonna deny that it's the way it is. But you can look it up on Wikipedia. It's called the dual mating strategy. It's just the way women are, and that's the reason why complaining is terrible. Because if you complain, then you're just, I mentioned incel in the other episode. Then you're an incel. Well, I mean, it goes beyond being an incel, but complaining doesn't work. And at the end of the day, the reason why I bring this up is because it's best for men to know this and not get married and be victims to this. Because I know plenty. Let's see if I know any. I know one woman personally, who she was not attracted to her husband. Been married to him for 15 years. And she actually told me, she said when she tries to have sex with him, she feels like her body rejects him. You want to know why? Because he's just the guy who, he does have kids with her, if they're his. I think they are his, because I've seen his sons. He has 2 sons. They look just like him. So yeah, he did copy. He did duplicate. She did at one point say, yeah, you deserve to duplicate. But after 15 years, she lost all attraction to him, because I think it was the next point in this these notes. Sexual access. It's controversial argument is that sexual frequency often drops after marriage, leading to frustration. Well, that's because she already got him. Like when you say I do at the altar, and the woman is smiling, don't think that's smiling that's good smiling. That's smiling of like, I got you now. That's what marriage is.
Scary,
I don't think I'll ever get married. Like I said, unless I make $1 billion and I can just have $1 million wedding.
Look. Isn't that cool? That's the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and if you ever do talk about getting married, me and you're gonna have a conversation about it beforehand.
Yeah. Think about it, but listen to this one. Husband and wife. Okay, so think about, men are often expected to continue providing emotionally and financially, while the wife can legally walk away at any time with rewards. The alimony I was talking about.
Right.
But when a lot of feminists argue about gender roles, they argue about why do I got to be in the kitchen? Why do I got to do laundry and blah blah blah? Stay at home. That's gender roles. There's gender norms. That's sexist. But what about men? Because they want to start competing with men. They don't want men to stop doing their gender roles, because men are often expected to continue providing and be a man and wake up at 6 a.m. and go do construction, or go do lawn, or go do welding. You're a man. Be a man. Oh well, you're a woman, and I don't want to say
be a woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to say that, I mean, well, why all of a sudden the next the reverse is so offensive? Was because they definitely want us to continue to be men because there is benefit to that for reasons I mentioned before, but also they want at the same time compete with men. They want to compete with men. I mean,
Wow. Whoa.
Unilateral divorce. So no fault divorce means either spouse can leave for any reason, but the consequences can still fall heavily on the man. Because anytime you leave, even if you leave on good terms, she has to make sure that she looks perfect. And if that means dragging your name through the mud, oh, she's gonna do it. She's gonna make you look bad in front of your family. She's gonna make you look bad in front of her family, mostly her family. But if it means accusing you of shit that you didn't do, like crazy shit, and like best case scenario, she gets a restraining order. Worst case scenario, you go to jail. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's a constant battle, I'm sure.
At the end of the day, for the most part, there are a lot of reasons why I think women have given up on men and should. And there's a lot of reasons why I think that men have given up on women and probably should. But I think men and women haven't completely given up on each other just yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And I don't think men should, because there's men going their own way. They're done with dating. They're done dealing with women because of all the drama that comes with it.
Right here. I'm one of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
MGTOW?
Oh,
I didn't even know that.
yeah, I'm done. Yeah, got nothing for him, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
But at the end of the day, the way it is now, I think neither men or women need each other. It's just because I heard there was one woman on TikTok that said men are a luxury now for women because, and I mentioned before, women don't need men for what they used to. They just need men for what they want. And what they want is a luxury. So if a woman is, because I've talked to women who have 2 jobs and still going to college. What is she going to do with a man? She's actually doing something that women back in the day would only dream of doing, having 2 jobs. And well, I mean, maybe they would want 2 jobs to be free.
Right.
I don't know for sure. But she has 2 jobs. And going to college, getting an education, that's one thing. That's one thing that's good for her. So where is she going to be able to fit a man? Well, if she's able to relieve either one of those jobs, then she can find a man, and then that will be a luxury. Because men to women are a luxury, and right now, the same thing goes for men. Women to men are a luxury. So dating nowadays, it's just a luxury. When I heard that, I was like, men are a luxury to women. That's kind of like, it definitely hits some type of way. It feels some type of way when women collectively agree that they don't need us anymore. It's not a good feeling. But at the end of the day, when you get over it, it's like, well, we don't really need them all that much anyway. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing either way. It's just don't completely give up on each other. Just look at it for what it is. And I know it's the harsh truth and a bitter pill to swallow, but whether you're a man or a woman and you date, it's just take it for what it is. It's a luxury. You don't really need to, unless you really want to have kids, unless you really want to.
Unless
get
you're
married.
like super lonely or something.
Yeah.
In that case, you can just get a dog.
Yeah. And if you're a lonely woman, you can get a cat.
There you go.
You can get 5 cats.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a lonely man, get a dog. If you're a lonely woman, get a cat. I would get a cat. I love cats. But
I love dogs.
Yeah.
But I do like cats. I've seen some cats that I just wish I could just like keep, big fat cats that can't hardly move, and they're just like meow, knock shit off the counter. I love them, dude.
Yeah.
I love them.
But yeah, you want to you know what, before we wrap up, I want to tell you about the YouTube story I heard.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me in 2004, September 1st, 2004. No, not September 1st. February 1st, 2004 was the Super Bowl 35. I think it was Super Bowl 35. Super Bowl 30 something. And the halftime performer was Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson's sister. and Justin Timberlake. They were performing the halftime together. They did a whole rehearsal. They did a whole practice, but last minute, they both wanted to do some crazy stunt, and they kept it a secret. They said, "Okay, so I'm gonna tear off your outfit on your right boob, but only to reveal a red like corset piece. Like it wasn't supposed to rip all the way off." And when you think about it now, like today, like I said, how old was I? Probably 8 years old. I feel like I don't even watch football anyway. So yeah, of course I don't remember it, but not back then. From what I heard, and I believe it, back then it was way different of a time when it came to scandalous stuff like that. Like I was listening to the video, and the plan was to reveal the red shits underneath, and that was supposed to be a big deal. Like, oh, it's so scandalous. I was like, how the fuck is that scandalous? Not now. But what happened was 100,000 times worse. Was her right nipple showed live on air for probably 5 seconds before they cut away. And the reason why that ended up happening was because only Janet Jackson, the wardrobe person guy, and Justin Timberlake knew that they were going to do this. And they thought about it. They only had time to talk about it the day they were performing. And even then, they didn't have time to really hash it out. So once they started performing, they were just like, okay, well, I guess this is what we're going to do. They didn't really cross their T's and dot their I's. And, yeah, and then what happened. And the aftermath of it was, and I was surprised because you think about it now, it's like people were clutching pearls back then. People were clutching pearls hard back then because what happened is, everybody was protesting, and CBS and MTV had to apologize, and Justin Timberlake apologized at the Grammys, which was like a week later or 2 weeks later. Janet Jackson, she refused to apologize. She did apologize on TV, but she didn't apologize again because it was so scandalous that they kept asking. They asked Janet Jackson to apologize on TV, and she did. They asked her to write an apology, post an apology. Well, there's probably no posting back then. And then they asked her to apologize at the Grammys, in which Justin Timberlake did, but she refused. She's like, I already apologized. And her career, I guess, declined from there. But the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, got 540,000 complaints, which normally they get like 1,000 a year. I think that year, in 2004, they got 540,000 complaints based on what happened. And like I said, MTV had to write an apology. It was like every news you turn on TV, everything on the news was just talking about that, and the few seconds of Justin Timberlake pulling it off was played over and over and over again on TV. Of course, they had to pixelate it, or else the world would implode apparently. There was a guy by the name, I think his name was Jod, which was a weird name. I think his actual name, first name is Jod. He was working, he was an engineer at PayPal at the time. And he was trying to find, a lot of people were in fact, it was the number one searched topic on the internet back then, which I think Google was around.
AOL and all, yeah.
Yeah, well, there was Google. I don't know when Google was started, but Google was...
When did they take ownership of YouTube, or have they always?
In 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2006. But they were most Googled for a long time at that point was Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson. Everybody's typing it in. Everybody's looking. Everybody's scouring the internet trying to find the video because a lot of people missed it. I mean, think about it. 90 million people saw what had happened during that performance, but that's very, very, very small when you compare it to the amount of people who missed it. And we're like, wait, what? I feel left out. I never saw it. I'm one of them. I was 8. I was probably doing whatever. I don't even remember what I was doing, but nobody was able to find the video. So Jod and 2 other guys who were working at PayPal with him decided, oh, we're gonna we're going to solve this problem. We're going to create a video sharing platform that I don't.
You know, Elon was one of the creators of PayPal.
Yeah. I knew that. Yeah. Elon, he
sold his part for, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think he did sell it.
Some millions.
Didn't he sell it to eBay? I think eBay owns it now. I could be wrong about that.
I don't know.
But yeah, Jordan and two of his engineer guys, they started coding. They started creating this platform they called it YouTube. And by 2005, they finished it. They had it complete. Posted their first video, me at the zoo. I don't know if you've seen that. You can search it on YouTube. It's called Me at the Zoo. It's the very first video ever uploaded to YouTube, and it's still there. Yes, it's probably once it pops up, you'll see it. I think it says 15, 16, 17 years ago, which was 2005. 10, no, 20. 20? 20 years ago.
Hit the zoo, world's first YouTube video.
Yeah, Me at the Zoo, and
Jawed.
Yeah, in 2000.
That's cool.
Yeah, very first video ever on YouTube. And in 2006, they sold it to Google for $1.5 billion. And
20 years ago. 366 million views.
Oh yeah, it's got a lot of views. People were watching that like, whoa, it's crazy. The first video ever on YouTube. And now YouTube has, Jesus.
Dude.
You can't even put a number on it.
It's unreal.
I wonder if it's a trillion. You think it's a trillion? No, it can't be a trillion videos. Either way, to think that if that never happened to Janet Jackson on during the Super Bowl halftime, YouTube might not have been created, because YouTube was created because Jawed could not find the video.
8 billion.
8 billion?
Wait, no, that's just how many people are on YouTube in general. Cool. Wait, how is that even?
That's how many accounts there are. Some of those accounts probably don't post.
Yeah, you're right. Because there's not even 8 billion people in the world, is there?
Yeah, yeah, there is.
Is there?
Some people probably have 2 accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was 8 billion people in the world. I thought it was less than that.
8
Yeah.
billion?
Yeah.
It seems low, though. I feel like there'd be more accounts than 8 billion. But yeah.
World population as of 2023 is 8.62 billion.
Yeah, no, I remember when it used to be 7, but the population is going crazy. In fact, I'm surprised it's almost 9.
That's just 2025. 8.2 in 2025.
Oh, okay, 8.2. Whew. Jesus.
And that's world. Damn.
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. You know, the United States has like 300-something million, was probably 400-something now. So 400-something million.
In the U.S.?
For the U.S. population. But India has a billion. Over a billion.
Really?
Yeah, India has over a billion. And China has over a billion, probably over 2 billion. So a good chunk of that. In fact, so you got 8 billion people on the planet. 1 billion and a billion. Like, just 1 billion is for one country and another billion for another country, China and India. And then the other 6 billion is spread out.
You were 1.4 billion. India, China has 1.4. U.S. 347 million. Indonesia 285 million. And Pakistan 255 million.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wait, so 2.4 billion people. No, 2.8 billion people in just India and China combined.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Almost 3.
Hey, you want to close us out?
Hey, if you haven't liked us or subscribed yet, check us out, man. Give us a try. Subscribe. We come up with different topics on the fly, so, we're out. Have a good night.